And earlier we took this live, you'll recall, ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa saying the governing party has refined its economic growth priority areas post-COVID-19. The emphasis will be on growing the economy and addressing structural inequalities. Ramaphosa was speaking in an online presentation following the ANC's weekend lekgotla. He acknowledged the massive shock that the lockdown brought to the economy and the deprivation people have suffered. He spoke about starvation. He also emphasized that energy security, food security, tourism and the green economy were among priority areas identified. Economist Mike Schussler joining us for a reaction now. Mike, he's saying all the right things. Do you agree? But maybe, again, we have a very long list of economic priorities rather than focus. What do you think?
Well, yes, I don't think we got the full plan, but always it's important how we get the message. And I think in that sense it was good. And he ended it off with implement. But the problem is, this is another plan, and it's coming from NETLAC this time, and it's only going to be revealed in full later. So we don't know exactly what it is right now, and there seems to be a focus on the district municipalities, the local governments all around, the small towns, the metros. And, you know, that's where he wants all these mini NETLACs, if you wish, to be set up and implement these things and to discuss what's going to happen on that basis. And that's going to be difficult. The other thing is he did acknowledge the huge debt that South Africa now has, and that basically government cannot just bring money to the party. They're going to rely on other partners, such as the private sector, to bring that money.
So you said he focused on implementation. At the end, he was saying implementation. Does that mean that the president is picking up maybe a sense of frustration? All the analysts, the analysis around our economy talking about a lack of implementation, about a glut of plans but a dearth of action. Is this at least recognition of that? And then what do you think? Our earlier analysts said there are movements when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to spectrum being released. So maybe we can say some of the plans, the previous plans, are starting to be implemented.
Well, the spectrum is great news. It's about 10, 15 years behind schedule. They're moving to digital for broadcasters. We're the last country in the world on that. So we're at last getting there. But, you know, the fact of the matter is the government infrastructure spending, according to their own numbers, has not done what they said it would do. And that is a very big concern. Also, it has not happened efficiently. We look at Eskom's power stations, which are costing a lot and still not producing as much. But Francis, I think what you're saying here is it's quite true that message, I think, is getting through. And it's not from the analysts so much as we hear it from business. We hear it from people on the ground. We know of NGOs. We know of business organizations, whether small or big, that need those projects, need the water, need the electricity. One needs to go to Standerton. One needs to go to Harrismith to see towns without electricity or water. Grahamstown. One can carry on. There's a long list. And there the businesses are really, really suffering. And that's become very clear. So I think the analysts are just stating the obvious. And that means the president is stating the obvious. And we would need that implementation more than the plans. That's the fact. We've got so many plans, we can pick and choose bookshelves of plans.
Yeah, and you need the right companies who are able to do the work. That's been a problem that's been highlighted even by the recent arrest. Finally, what about the confidence quota here? We know that for a lot of business activity to resume, those business people have to feel confident. And he was talking about corruption. He said there will be talks within the party on how politically exposed people can be dealt with, because we know state officials shouldn't be doing business with the state, but what about their brothers and mothers? Is that a good statement there?
Yes, absolutely. I think President Ramaphosa is very honourable. He's bringing across a lot of things that should be done and should have been done from the start. We know that President Mbeki, said the same thing. He said people join the ANC to become rich, to become part of this, tender entrepreneurship. So we need to look at that, and we need to find a way that the politics aren't entering the civil service. And I think that's an important thing. But then again, he did say they want good cadres. And what does he mean with good cadres? I'm a bit worried about that. Does it mean good for the ANC if they give them money, or good for the country at large? And that's going to be a critical question to be answered. But I want to state this. I think the economy is in a bit of a bounce back, and that's important as well for business confidence. And so I think what he's saying today is going to add to that business confidence. But the real proof in the pudding is probably 3 to 6 months in the future. And let's see where that implementation is, because that's what people are going to start measuring on again. And I think this is the last chance saloon. If there is no implementation, then we are in serious, serious trouble.
All right.
If we're not already.
All right. Thank you for your time, Economist Mike Schussler. Let's get some sporting action now with Simon.